Gaming's early years were constantly filled with originality, fun and new experiences, almost every week. 50 years or so later, reinventing, surprising and originality has become all but impossible. Team Asobi never played by the rules, and with their fourth Astro Bot title, their second PS5 exclusive, they break almost all of those with a flamboyant, fun, ingenious, unique and 90s style platformer that could have come from the PlayStation 1 and Saturn era. A technically refreshing and passionate game that soars sky high on the Dual Sense and certainly the PlayStation 5. Now, as a game concept and play style, this is business as usual from prior games, and those reference 32 and 64-bit platformers. Think of it more as the third in the trilogy of Astro Bot Rescue Mission and Astro Bot's Playroom. Astro Ship, which is a PlayStation 5 Tallboy edition, is hijacked by the same alien fiend, whipping out the innards in the CPU, memory, GPU, and leaving you marooned
for all eternity in the center of a dead planet.
Sorry, wrong story. Here you kick off a satellite to scan the galaxy and then enter each themed world, work through 4+ zones before a boss battle to progress to the next world, with a surprise all 30 in between, which I won't spoil here. Now, suffice to say, this leans in heavily on the PlayStation family and its 30-year heritage with unmitigated success. You would have to be a cold or simply younger gamer to not have a warm glow throughout your play, with the nods, winks and more used to tickle that nostalgia bone. Yet they never managed to make it feel overdone or tacky, and they use sound, animation, set pieces and more to overwhelm you often, with such a clear love for all things gaming, and that of course includes the mighty Nintendo. Now, each world offers up unique challenges and often skills that are required to traverse, defeat and overcome your enemies and even environment. The aim is to rescue your robot pals hidden around the level, while bashing, zapping or otherwise removing the assortment of spiky Goombas, jelly monsters, giant Monkey Island pirates and a menagerie of enemies focused on making you fail. The main hook is the method and means of progressing the world using the skills and equipment provided, all OSP, within the cunning design, secret areas and hidden routes and perks dotted around, amongst and within each grassy hill, gooey rock or armoured clam. The game still retains the same feel and style of the others, specifically the VR Rescue Mission with its scale and scope, and as a reference it works similar to Super Mario Galaxy, both in the segmented and dynamic world design and its use of input device. The viewpoint often changes and shifts from within a level. A Clockwork Knight pseudo 3D, miniature bug moments as you move around, shifting size, bringing a whole new perspective on the task at hand, or a high octane set piece that feels uncharted in the platforming space. Now, although at first glance the game may appear and be quoted as simple, this belies the passion, skill and ingenuity going on here. As per the PS5 pack-in title, the art style is clean, sharp and physically based. Objects have a clear cartoon, hyper-stylish but realistic look and feel that mirrors much of what Nintendo have done since the Wii onward days. But the quality and technology are far more impressive here and surprisingly can push the PS5 quite hard at times. Only a single mode is offered which targets 60 FPS, resolutions are never an issue, but the Asobi engine has run a dynamic scaler since at least the PSVR titles, and here we see it scale from a full 3840 by 2160 down to a counted low of 2560 by 1440. Now, this is not a game that ever suffers from bad image quality or breakup due to its art style being bright, vertex focused shading, physically based pixel lighting and clean lines, and excellent use of geometry, normal maps and textures and details that reduce both edge and in-surface artifacts under movement. Most of the time the only thing you notice is some stair-step edges on high contrast objects, but even then you would have to be looking for them. World design, scale and density are the most important yet. Many have a Sonic Adventure feel and even some Sega inspired music within. This Pirate Cove level is a particular early standout that swoops you in across the undulating ocean, dolphins playing ahead of you as you land on your own desert island. Later, as you work your way up the island, you can admire the vistas from on high as the island bustles and sways below. Sun refracts across the ocean and it looks serene and beautiful. Excellent use of high quality sprite bokeh depth of field is used for scale and presence to gameplay. The moments where you shrink down and others where you grow are impressive and effective in just how big, or is that small, things are. The game uses shadow maps with a high quality filter, and although they appear to not use any cascade, this helps the image a lot as you never get those blends between them, which can be distracting and adds to the solid and magical world you are plonked inside. Lighting, both direct and indirect, is superb, with the game often using dynamic point and spotlights within each level. Explosions, weapons, enemies and more shine light and shadow as you play. Sun bounces off sand and bathes objects with a soft GI glow. Caustics bounce onto the underside of piers or inside caves, and due to the fixed lighting and levels, many of these can be fixed, baked and even more, but the results are nonetheless impressive, and alongside the excellent PBR based materials, light refraction and material quality throughout, and the art and clean style that it has, it leaves you immersed at every single nook and cranny. Animation and physics are a huge reason it looks, plays and feels so good, all the time. Each world, enemy, bot and even rock comes alive as you move throughout. From the staple of any 90s platformer, idle animations are cute, smooth and emotive. Enemies have physical tells letting you know when they will attack and how, like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Weight and physicality is portrayed as you hit an enemy, bounce on something, swing on a vine and much more that feels like a kid playing with their toy figures in the garden or bath time. Physics and the sheer physicality of everything here is the standout though, and can sometimes be the cause of some dips in performance, although brief. Paying homage to the famous Rubber Duck demo from ex-Argonaut programmer and founder of Q Games, Dylan Cuthbert, we have so many objects that have buoyancy as they bob and swim, glass breaks procedurally, water and fluids are used in abundance, thousands of instant objects can tumble from the trees and roll and interact with each other. Leaves bob with water surfaces and then can be whipped up by your spin just to settle back down onto the water again. Jelly is pushed into, grabbed hold of, spun around. Water, honey and other fluids are often used to progress, break down or through. Each world has a fully believable physics model applied that feels so old school and like a tech demo at times, as many old 16 and 32-bit games used to. Showing off your skills of coding talent is great when it is so much fun and really strengthens something I've harped on about for years. To have a bigger push on the physics models in games, not just graphics, and sometimes instead of graphics is where teams should focus, and Astro Bot does that absolutely perfectly. And although limited, constrained within the gameplay loop and aims, it still offers a genuine sandbox with which to play, destroy and create as part of or in supplement to the gameplay itself. It is the biggest technical achievement here, aside the brilliant use of light, distortion and motion that gives everything a reality-based physics model that is very, very rare in current games. It impressed me so much you could literally blow me down with a feather. Now the Dual Sense is a key element to how all of this works, and sound is used to perfection with only direct sounds coming from your bot making vibrations and noise from the controller itself. Juggling bananas creates a thud and vibe each side of the controller during the idle animation, or rain hitting your little helmet umbrella as you swipe and spin. Climbing walls with large gloves requires a tilt of the Dual Sense left and right as you use those adaptive triggers to grab each ledge with left and right. Catching bots, zooming in, boosting into levels and using the assortment of skills you are granted from each level. As you pop open a chest you feel the restriction from those triggers, and from a rocket powered chicken, extendable fists and even VR powered bullet time, each punch through a wall, crack of an egg, electrified death or splash into the ocean is as much felt as seen and heard, and it really cements how integral the game design has been to best incorporate but not frustrate you with its fundamental integration into everything you do. It achieves an unprecedented impact that would feel significantly reduced were it not using the DualSense within every aspect of its design. Sound and music is another key ingredient within this superlative adventure, from the classic and retro-fueled tunes that already feel part of the furniture, the Astro Bot tune itself, ninja 80s style 8-bit music, classic PlayStation tunes give an Astro vibe, and grand moments within the boss battles. The music is vital within the impact the game has, and used to perfection here to create mood and even suspense when all things go silent. Sound effects, mixing and processing are equally as accomplished, with each enemy sound, strike and squeal being unique and identifiable. Reverberation within caves gives an old school Super Mario, Super Nintendo vibe. As does the haunted ghost and goblin style levels. Grounds and surfaces make different sounds as you walk, run and smash through. You can hear the sounds of the bots calling out for help as you draw by, and the sound origin can be tracked to their location. It has just as much effort, thought and passion within it as every aspect of the game, and feels as polished, integral and intrinsic within the game's appeal and impact that without it, it would simply not be the same. All of these things combine within the DualSense, the sound and the action to create a showcase of a game that is as much a celebration of gaming and PlayStation's past and legacy as it is a perfect example of how much more can be achieved within the medium. It's so good, you can feel it. Now a brief section on performance. Overall, it's excellent throughout, but a few sections can see some heavier dips, not shown here for spoilers, but these are largely when physics, destruction and streaming get very heavy. Overall, most sections play out as you see in this analysis, a locked and smooth 60 FPS, and I never had any issues that came up within my eyeball analysis graph either. Overall, if you're worried about performance, don't. The gameplay and performance work in symbiosis, and it's superb. As all their previous games, it is packed with a warmth that has seemed lost in games of late, and captures the old 80s and 90s feel to perfection. The 90s gaming period was an eclectic mix filled with attitude, fun, style, colour, speed, originality, music, and most enduring, shifted the medium out of 2D into 3D, which we still enjoy today. This game is a celebration of all those platformers gone by, from Rare, Insomniac, Sega, Naughty Dog, and of course Nintendo themselves. It was a revelatory time in platforming world that delivered again and again before running out of steam and new ideas, again aside Nintendo. Yet many decades later, I would never have thought any team could reinvigorate and reinvent with such creativity and passion again. Indeed, Asobi did just that with the PSVR title and that PS5 DualSense packing game. This PS5 sequel brings all that charm, wonder and individuality, and then some, on a much bigger and grander scale of previous games. Sure, it is not a drastic shift from those games, and it reuses many aspects of them, but it still has so much more to offer, both in gameplay, secrets galore and wealth of things to try and find. And even after 12 plus hours of play, I still have far more secret levels, characters and more to find and achieve. I can certainly see this being on many Games of the Year lists come the end of 2024, and it has most certainly found a place on mine. And that's it for an Astro Bot 90s platforming adventure title. If you enjoy what I do here, then remember I am self-funded and completely independent. You can help by subscribing, liking, sharing and commenting down below, and all of that helps the boring algorithm. If you enjoy what I do here on my modern and retro content, you can also support me on Patreon, which helps me for any pounds or dollars you can afford each month, which gives you early access and exclusive access to much more content. Anyway, I'm out, but I'll catch you very soon in Astro Bot and beyond.